Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager, returning to the Predator Racing Group and the Worst Best Challenge. And we only have 2 more races to finish out the 3rd season. The next race being Milan, which is going to be a tough track for us because of how top speed oriented it is, as it is just a series of straights for the most part. We have deceleration that's also being crucial, and high speed corners. And fuel burning is very low, which is surprising considering how top speed oriented it is. And then we have low tire wear. We have projected rain for the race, which may make things a little bit tricky. Now, the one thing that I am a little bit concerned with is the upcoming GMA vote with a rule change on how things are scored as far as points. And this is going to change it so there's only points for the top 8. So it kind of shows you how that scoring would work. So the first place driver would receive 10 points and so on down the line. What this does mean, though, if you're not in that top 8, you score 0 points. So this is very similar to my Archer BMR series when I got promoted to the Asia Pacific Super Cup, where with that rule, it was the top 6, not top 8, were the only drivers that would score points. It's going to make it very tough for a team like ours that is at the bottom end of things, because as much as I like to build teams that I go for 2 drivers that can give me consistently decent performances, that doesn't work as well when you have the top 8 rule. Because if one driver finishes in, let's say, 5th, okay, that driver gets points. But if the other driver finishes in 9th, it doesn't really matter that they finished 9th, that they finished what I would consider a good finish for our secondary driver, because they would get 0 points. So I'm not a real big fan of this rule. I will vote against it, but it's not the end of the world, because what this means for us, if it does pass, that it ensures that we're going to be one of the top teams if we win this series and get promoted. Because, as I said, with my normal strategy of having 2 decent drivers, I could be, as we saw with the Archer BMR series, I could be ranked 6th as far as car performance and still win the series with just consistent, decent performances. So I feel like with that series, maybe I got promoted a little bit too soon, and maybe this rule change would ensure that I was a higher performing team before I got promoted. But still, I'm going to vote against it. In any case, let's go ahead and continue here. We are going to have to just check on the improvement. Oh, wow. Okay, so I need to improve reliability here. I think that happened just as we were getting to the last race. So we'll put that in and we'll go towards reliability, because improving the performance of these other parts isn't really going to matter necessarily. And we will do that. And that should be the last of the parts that we currently use. And then we just have parts that are just kind of secondary that we could improve reliability, which I don't know if that would really matter. Okay, let's go ahead and continue now that we have that set up. And outside of that, we don't really have anything else to work on outside of the oh, is the vote already? Oh, okay, I guess it is. So this is just going to talk about it. We just talked about what all that entailed. It doesn't really tell us if our team would like it or not, but we'll know. All right, what does this say? I'd really like to see points for top 8 fail in the next GMA vote. So we're going to vote against it anyway. Don't you think that that would be a good idea? Maybe I can help you make that your decision. So he wants me to vote against. And this is actually the chairman, too, I think. Yeah, that's telling me to do that. Well, you know what? I want it to fail, too. So I'm going to not only take the money, but I would vote against it anyway. So let's do that. So my vote is now set, but that's what I would have voted anyway, so that's good for me. All right. And let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, that's a little bit of a cash incentive to vote how we were going to vote anyway. So let's see how the vote goes. Again, if it happens that way, then it's not the end of the world, but I very much want this to fail. So let's take a look at the vote. It's now arrived. All right, so some problems, some drama with one of the teams. Okay, let's see the politics thing here. So this rule will benefit only the top 3 teams, I'm going to guess. And we're not listed here, but I'm fairly certain that these are some teams that are, not that great. We have already voted against because of the bribe. Looks like it's 50-50, though, so we'll have to see how it goes. Skip to the end. Now, somebody used an extra weight of vote. Yeah, it voted. It approved. So that sucks. That's going to make next year challenging, for sure. Because I don't think we're going to be in the top 8. I mean, I think it's possible, but consistently, no. So it might take a little bit more doing to get promoted from this series with this rule in place. But hey, we get $250,000 out of the deal, so I guess, you know, it is what it is. I hate it, but yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and continue then. We're going to have reliability work done here soon. All right, I'm going to pause. Let's go to our cars, improve parts, and we'll go ahead and improve reliability of some more parts. Not that it particularly matters. And then we'll switch over to the last little bits that we have to work on. And we'll have that all done before the end of the season. And again, I don't know how important this stuff is, but I do it anyway, just to, you know, be certain for next year. We have a sponsor upcoming? No, so we're dead last in sponsors, even though we have all our sponsors. Well, that's no good, obviously. And that's what I'm talking about. We might want to replace Dior with somebody that has better marketability. Maybe even replace both of our drivers. We'll just have to see. Let's go ahead and continue until we get to our race, because there's not really a whole lot else for us to do here. But as I said, I'm bummed out that that passed, because I prefer the points system that was already existing in the European Racing Series. When I got promoted to the Asia Pacific Super Cup, that really took me off guard with the Archer BMR series. Okay, so now we're going to be going to Milan, and let us go ahead and do the traveling and all that. Okay, so we're going to take the 16th or above. Interestingly enough, I could have grabbed the 9th or above sponsorship bonus last race if I had known I would do that well. But this track, I really don't think we're maybe even going to get this much because of how top speed oriented it is. Our part fitment should be okay. We haven't really been changing anything, and nothing should have changed, so we'll just continue there and go on to race. But who knows, maybe the rain will change things enough so it actually gives us a chance. All right, we have rain on the practice. I don't think that was predicted, but I'm not going to take the practice, so for me, it doesn't necessarily matter. Let's go ahead and do that and that. It looks like Santana has improved in feedback because I believe she was 9 before. Okay, so higher downforce here, which is somewhat surprising considering how top speed oriented the track is, as I've said in the past. We'll just do that a little bit. Handling needs to be softer. That looks good to me. And hard to say which way to take this. I'm going to go that way, and we'll see how that does. And then intermediates is fine because it is raining, so, you know, that makes perfect sense. And then over here, we need lower downforce. Now that makes a little bit more sense. And softer suspension, as we've seen there. And then a little bit towards acceleration. I'm not going to go too crazy with that, though. That's going to be our initial setup. Confirm. And let us get an instant result. Hopefully we get bonuses this time, unlike last race. Which, again, I don't know how you don't get a race trim bonus. What, do you just sit in the pit the whole time? I mean, all you have to do is go around a little bit, and you get the bonus. I don't get the problem. We don't have qualifying, so there's nothing to, you know, use that bonus. All right, there's no way you can get a bonus for that. Okay, so we have rain, it seems like, right out the gate. We'll have to see how long it lasts. So it does look like it's going to get sunny a little bit later, maybe a third of the way through the race. Okay, we're starting with intermediates, which is good, and I'm going to assume the rest of the grid is doing the same. Hey, we get a bonus, and we actually get a bonus to intermediate tires. Finally. Okay, let's do the risk taker there. And then over here, I'm just going to take both of these bonuses because these bonuses don't really do anything for me. All right, let's go to the car setup now. I can't really mess with this too much, though, because I don't know which way to take things. I'm going to push here just because I assume that temperature is going to be a little bit on the low end. All right, let's go ahead and start the race. So Santana is going to be a little bit further back because she did jump up a little bit in the driver's standings from last race because of that good performance. So we're first and fourth now. And the one thing I'm going to do right off the bat is just say allow teammate through because Santana is the better of the two, and I would prefer that she was out in front. Okay, away we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and go up to maximum speed here. So we're in second and fifth right away. And I expect these positions to continue to drop. Although Santana might be able to hold out a little bit better than Dior will because she has the faster engine out of the two. But so far, Dior's doing okay-ish. And Santana has dropped down to sixth. Here they come. Okay, so we're down into 11th with Santana. Down into 6th with Dior. Down into 7th. Down into 8th. Down into 9th. Santana's in 12th. Down into 10th. Soon to be down into 11th. Now Santana finally passes and is in 12th. Down into 14th, down into 18th. As I said, I don't expect us to do all that well in this this race. Very top speed oriented, and we're, I think, ranked 9th overall with top speed. So on these straights, we're just going to get killed. So we're in 16th and 18th. There must have been body contact between a couple of cars, and we just fell out of our sponsorship. I have a feeling Santana might drop in standings after the end of this race. Okay, tire temps are starting to get more towards the neutral, so we might be able to back off soon. If I can, I'd like to have these tires last until the weather dries out, because it doesn't look like it's going to rain again, although it may towards the end of the race. We're in 16th and 17th now. Okay, tire temps are starting to get more towards the neutral point, so I'm going to back off. Although I have a feeling these tires will cool off rather rapidly. I did not fuel up these cars, I just realized. Whoops. Because like the default that they have now, since the last patch, is not to have your cars fueled up all the way. So that actually may screw me pretty hard here. Because I may have to pit a lap or two earlier than I would normally want to. Let's just go ahead and start pushing here because I'm going to run out of fuel if I don't get these tires off and in the pits. So I have, I think, no choice here but to pit with Santana. That really sucks. I hate that default now because if you're not paying attention, it really hurts you. I'm going to stay out. I know that doesn't give me much fuel, and I'm probably going to have to pit with both of my cars, but I'd rather not take on intermediates when I don't need them. So we're going to have the track dry off here by the time it comes to pit. So I'm going to pit with Santana. We're going to take softs, and then we're going to fuel up. 10 seconds is probably the optimum there. Well, technically 9 seconds is the optimum. I'll take the 10 seconds, though. And then we should be good there. Pit. And then we're going to have Dior also pit at the same time, so we're probably going to lose time in the pits. We're also going to take... yeah, take softs. And then fuel... I'm going to take full fuel, and we'll do a fast pit. Okay. This may be the wrong strategy, but I'm hoping that it dries off enough while we're in the pits to justify this action. All right, so what we need to have happen is Santana get out of the pits really quickly here. It was a little bit of delay, not too bad. And we're into 9th. And the track is drying off, so we'll have an advantage here. A lot of other cars pitted too, so I think anyway. So that wasn't too bad. We're in 18th and 10th. And we can stop pushing here. Okay. And they're saying to come in for inners, but the rest of the field did the same thing that we just did. They pitted at the same time. Now, granted, look at all these positions we just lost. But we're in 15th. We're in a point scoring position. The question is, can we keep this guy in 16th off our butt? I doubt it. Dior's in 17th, although it doesn't look like he'll be there long. I could have done that a little bit better, though, if I had had fuel in these cars, in my opinion. Because I wouldn't have had to pit at the same time, costing Dior some time. But it is what it is. You do need to push a little bit of temp into these tires, though. Let's take a look at the forecast. There is some rain at the end of the race. Just like last time, we're probably going to ignore it. Because so will the rest of the field. We're down to 16th now. Car behind us is in 20th, so having them pass us is not a big deal. This car, on the other hand, passing us would be more of a big deal because that would drop us out of sponsorship. Car in front of us is going to pit, though, so that's good to see. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Actually, there's a lot of pitting coming up ahead of us, so we're going to gain a lot of positions here, all the way up into 4th at this point. Now, whether or not we'll be able to hold on to that, I don't know. You can back off to neutral, I guess. You can back off to neutral. So we're in 4th and 10th. I'm going to have to pit in a lap or two. Mostly fuel being a big determining factor of that. So after this lap, we're going to pass into 2nd place. And then we're going to have to queue our own pit, which we're going to drop a lot of positions with that pit, obviously. Let's go ahead and push some temperature into the tires. And we will queue a pit. I'm going to take soft tires again, just because the way fuel is being burnt here. I get the opinion that... let's take the 10-second pit. In any case, what I was saying is fuel doesn't last as long as the tires do. So I think as far as things go, that's what we're going to do, and we will pit. That's why I'm taking the soft tires, because I don't really... I mean, we could keep the medium tires on there and just take fuel, but I've tried that strategy in the past, and I've not really been that big of a fan of it. Okay, the car in first is going to pit with us, which is good. We're going to lose a ton of positions here, just because of the nature of the track and how high speed it is. Go to neutral, and now it's time to pit with Dior, get ourselves some fuel. Take the 10-second, and we'll do fast. Pit and pit. Okay. So Dior is going to be our top driver right now in 12th. And you know what? I did not pay attention to what was going on as far as how many laps we had, because okay. I way overfueled. I'm going to cancel this pit, repit, fuel options. We only have 3 laps to go, so there's no reason to take that much fuel. My bad. And park condition, pitch strategy, yeah. There we go, pit. All right, so I screwed myself there a little bit. And I guess you can go into high gear too. Oh, I didn't change tires. Well, whoops. In the confusion, all that, I screwed myself. Okay. I was wondering why it was such a quick pit. You know what? Yeah, alright. That sucks. I just cost myself positions there. I mean, he's finishing dead last anyway, but you can't have boneheaded decisions like that. And I made a couple there at the end of the race, for sure. Probably even should have given him intermediates if I had really been wise. Alright, you've got excess fuel. Go into high gear. Alright, Santana is in 17th, but might actually win 16th here. Because of the high gear that we have her going in. But, granted, there's not much of the race left. Come on, go, 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 go. Alright, well, we did something right. If it was a lot of failing other places... Okay, we might be able to get 15th here if we're lucky. Maybe even more. Not much left of the race, though. Alright, well, we got 14th. But I had some real bad mistakes there. Spending too much time in the pits with Santana, refueling her when I didn't need it. And the mistake with Dior, I got confused there because I canceled the pit and I didn't change the tires. I should have. And that was obviously a mistake. He probably would have finished in 17th if I hadn't made that mistake, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and continue. It doesn't really impact things too much, to be honest with you, but it's the kind of mistakes that we need not to make in the future. We do drop down in driver standings with Santana as a result of my stupidity, possibly, but let's just continue, and continue. I kind of underestimated how few laps that track is. Considering how fast of a track it is, it doesn't take much to get around it. It's not a very long track, and it's a very fast track. I wasn't aware how late in the race we were. Okay. Well, we get some more development with Santana. She's getting there to her cap for her potential. Marketability goes up very slightly. That's somewhat good. We did get our sponsorship bonus, so that's also good. Let's continue. And as we've done in the past, we're just going to go ahead and repair the cars. I'm going to reject the interview. And let us go to that. There we go. And there we have it. And we'll get the reliability changes done pretty soon, and then we'll get the other reliability changes, and then we'll pretty much be done with all the improvement we can do, although we already did the meaningful improvement a while ago. And this will be the last race of the season, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.